We're in last year mode where they're invincible. Even if they don't play their best, they still win, and they win by a lot. Like, not really a question of if you win, but by how many. They didn't play a great game against Cleveland, at least not offensively, and they won anyway.
No, and you got to find ways to win games, even against not complete teams. Because I don't want to say they're a bad team. They are a bad offense. Special teams, whatever. Defensively, they're a very good defense.
Special teams, whatever.
Well, I mean, okay, so we can look at it and say our special teams made them look bad. Yeah. I just don't know much about their special teams, so I'm not going to lie to you and sit there and say, "Oh, they're a great special teams team."
What about their kick coverage unit, John?
Yeah, I don't know. Nor do I care about the Cleveland Browns special teams, other than the fact that they allowed a return for a touchdown.
Right, that feels like last year, though, where they're a complete team and they pick each other up. So the offense doesn't have 300 yards, and Goff throws a pick, and they have procedural penalties, and the defense forces 3 turnovers, 17 points off the turnovers, throwing a special teams ace touchdown. Like, that's a last year game. That's a we're going to beat anybody, anytime, anywhere kind of game, right?
Yeah.
And I know Cleveland is not a good team. It's a good defense. They were challenged, and they still won the game convincingly.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, it's a confidence boost as much as frustrating as it could feel maybe for the offense, coming out of that game and feeling like, man, we knew it was going to be tough, but we still could have played better. Like, we missed a lot of opportunities. It still gives you confidence knowing that, okay, if we do have games like that where it takes us a while to get going or, man, like we're in a dogfight, at least our defense has shown that they can keep us in the game until we get right, right? And, John, you probably played on teams too where – offensively, I've been on teams where it's like, okay, I guess we're going to have to score 50 points today, guys. Like, defense ain't getting any stops, But when you are having those games where, you get into a dogfight like yesterday, it is a big mental confidence boost for you as a team saying, like, man, we got the horses on special teams, we got the horses on defense to always give us a chance to be in this game, right?
Can I tell you one of the weirdest dynamics we've had kind of in the background of today's show with the Lions? Like, we're talking, hey, Victory Monday, first place team now. Shout out Green Bay in the tie. Win by 24 points. Yeah, but they haven't played anybody. We've gotten some of that today.
Yeah, there's been a lot of that.
And it's so weird to me. Like, if you don't think the Bears are somebody, all right, fine. I still like throwing up 50. If you don't think Cleveland is a very good team, all right, I agree with you. They're going to pick near the top of the first round. We don't count Baltimore anymore, apparently. Like, I know Baltimore's 1-3. They lost to Kansas City. Their losses are to Kansas City, Detroit, and Buffalo. And 1 week ago, we had packed phone lines, celebration, what a win. And then 1 week later, that win doesn't count. It's weird.
Well, and even going into that game, the Baltimore game, there was no one that picked Detroit to win that game. In Baltimore, with Lamar and with Derrick Henry, it seemed like it was an impossibility. Yeah. Now, all of a sudden,
they're no good.
It's a bad team.
They're no good. And look, they're banged up. They're beat up. Some of that may have been some Honolulu flu, having to play short week after playing the Lions, who came in and whooped ass. But I'm not looking at Baltimore suddenly discrediting that win and saying Detroit has to beat somebody first, because what's going to happen here is Cincy doesn't count because Burrow's hurt. And then this isn't peak Kansas City, so that doesn't count. And then Tampa, been there, done that. And then, the Commanders are in there somewhere, but that's a
Vikings, then Commanders, then Eagles.
Yeah, the Eagles aren't running the ball like they used to. Like, none of these are beat somebody first.
Well, I mean,
you don't go in the NFL and blow people out the way the Lions are doing, or certainly do what they did in Baltimore and scoff at it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't give a damn about credit. I'm sure they don't. Yeah. Like, as long as they just keep taking care of their business.
Right.
And certainly they're going to get that stretch you just mentioned with KC, Tampa, Minnesota, Washington, and then Philadelphia. That's going to be a tough 5-game stretch.
But this was supposed to be the tough stretch, and they're 3-1. Like, I just think people need to recognize, if they aren't already, like, what's taking place.
Yeah. And I think people do. I just don't think, like you mentioned, like, the win, would it be proper to be like, man, like, I'm so pumped about this team? Like, I don't think a lot of people are feeling that because the Lions just did what we expected them to do yesterday, right? And
that feels like last year.
That is a great feeling, and maybe, I don't know, are there people that wanted them to put up another 52 points to feel good about beating Cleveland? Like, you won by 24 points. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that maybe you're not getting the excitement right now because the like yesterday, like we said, was kind of a ho-hum, go to work, punch the,
punch the clock,
punch the clock, and let's
punch
get out
in,
of here.
punch out.
But that's why I say it feels like last year, where winning by 24 is expected. Like, that's a rarefied air in the NFL when, like, you're expected, whether you play your best or not, to throttle people on a weekly basis. Like, they're 9.5-point favorites against Cincy this week on the road. The expectation is you're going to drop another 20-point victory on these guys, right?
On the bad teams, or on the teams that aren't at your level.
But you guys
Certainly
played in the
that's
league. Like, that's
expectation.
not the standard across the league. Like, even bad teams.
No, it is for the top, 5 teams, like the teams that everybody feels like are legit, contenders. Then you're expected to not go out there and have a dud. Now, does it happen? Like, it happens.
Philly plays a lot of close games. Kansas City plays a lot of close games.
It just hasn't happened here in so long.
I know.
Where you're saying it just kind of has become the norm. Like every time, Jim, we talked yesterday, every time you face like a kind of trap game feel, like whether it's Jacksonville last year or Tennessee or a Chicago team that you're like, man, like, I know we're better than them. But every time you play those type of teams, they don't take the bait. Like, they don't. They just show up and they beat the hell out of teams. And you're right. I think it's kind of become the norm.
And you see the mentality. We'll play Dan Campbell in the locker room. When he says, it stood out, it wasn't good enough. So let's play that for people, then we'll get the phone calls in. Play it every week for you, every time they win. Let's get to Steve in Northville. Steve, you're on 97.1.
Hey, good morning. You guys touched on it, and I think it bears repeating. The Lions, and Coach Campbell talks about it last week after the Baltimore game, finding another way to win a football game. And what the Lions do is they win in two of the 3 facets of the game every week. And his ability to identify where they need to win, this week, he said it in the locker room, we need to win on special teams. We need to win with defense, knowing where those buttons are, where they need to win. I just think it's a master class in what they're doing right now. And I know it's early in the season, but it's pretty exciting, their ability to do all of that.
Yeah, I agree with you, and that's a coach that knows his team. We hear these post-game speeches to the guys, and he knows his team. He knows, I think, throughout the week I talked to him, after games, and it's like, did you have a feel during the week like it was going to be this type of game? And he's like, yeah, we know what type of game we were going to have to play, and very rarely does he get shocked. That's like, man, like that's uncharacteristic of us, wasn't expecting that. He knows, he said it yesterday, we're going to have to win with defense, we're going to have to win with special teams. And when you are locked in and everybody's, like, I keep going back to the word mentality, when everybody's on the same page and you go out there and keep playing those type of games that you're going to have to play, the games that you're prepared to play, that's just a coach that is so dialed in with his guys and his roster and his coaching staff to know exactly what it's going to take to win. And I think his message pretty damn consistently to the guys and the way that he prepares them is pretty on point every single week, right?
Yep.
So that's impressive for me, just a coach that knows his team so well, that knows exactly before the ball's even kicked off, already knows what type of game it's about to be.
Got Lions fans on hold that want to talk. What stood out from that game? Are we into last year mode where it's just one of these elite teams that finds creative ways to win even when they're not playing their best and doing it decisively? You let us know how you're feeling about the Lions. We should talk a little bit about some of the injuries in the secondary with TJ. We got Heather's news. And I see here we're going to ask TJ about the Tigers at the end of the hour. Playoff baseball. It's 97.1.